Finovate showcases cutting-edge banking and financial technology through a global conference series featuring short-form demos and thought leadership. Now, the conversation continues on the Finovate podcast.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Finovate podcast. We are kicking off our series talking with the Best of Show winners from FinovateFall 2023. It was a terrific event in New York this time around. And I'm pleased to be joined now by Chase Neinken, co-founder at Chimney. Chimney was one of the companies that was selected by our audience as one of the top companies on display at FinovateFall. Chase, first off, congratulations. And second off, thanks for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, and always a pleasure to speak with you, Greg.
Excellent. Well, you'll probably hear me say this over the next couple of weeks, but for those of you who haven't seen the demo, you can find Chase's demo, Chimney's demo, I should say, at finovate.com/videos. All of the demo videos from FinovateFall are up there. But Chase, for people who haven't actually seen that demo, can you start by just taking 60 seconds or so and giving us a quick overview on yourself and Chimney?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm one of the co-founders here at Chimney. We've got an awesome team. We're based here in New York. And we're really focused on allowing financial institutions to uncover opportunities, engage their account holders, deliver offers, and then also speed up approvals on the back end, so some back office efficiency. And there are millions of people today that are using our combination of what's now award-winning technology and some modern property data that we've rebuilt. And this is across thousands of websites and within digital and online banking apps. So we provide a combination of financial tools and APIs that allow account holders to do things like understand how much their home is worth, see how much equity they have or borrowing power, get personalized offers specifically for them. And they can do all of this right within their banking app and on their website. So, by leveraging the power of open banking and data, we really enable financial institutions to, follow that journey from engagement all the way through to action, and then converting folks, into additional products.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool platform, and it's easy to see why it resonated so strongly with the folks in our audience. Before we jump into the technology in detail, I want to just kind of take a step back. Let's talk about the origin story. Where did Chimney come from? What prompted you all to get into this space?
Yeah, so the moment of truth or that aha moment, right, comes when you kind of realize that there's a problem that you're struggling with, but it's not unique to you. And for us, it really came, trying to answer what should be pretty basic questions that most account holders, most people, most homeowners go through. So, if you're a homeowner and you're trying to go and figure out what your home is worth, you kind of do what everyone does, which is you go online and you go to Google, you go to Zillow, you try to track down some numbers that you think you can trust. And the process is just pretty confusing. It's a little unclear. It's hard to follow. And it's totally disconnected from your bank or your credit union. So, you don't know if you can trust these numbers. And right now, it's if you go to your bank or credit union and try to get this information, they act like your home doesn't exist, right? A quick story I like to tell is that when Zillow launched the ability to check your home value online, right, the website crashed. So this was 15 years ago. It was the first time that anyone could go online and check this. And it was so popular that they broke the internet. And, it should be a no-brainer. This is your biggest financial asset. It's the biggest asset you'll ever own that, unlocks all sorts of lendings and savings possibilities. It should be, managed in your banking app, not totally disconnected by some real estate site.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think your point about not knowing which information you can trust is spot on. I've got friends who are real estate agents who say, oh, well, you can't trust the information that's in Zillow. That's not real. And then Zillow is saying, well, if your real estate agent is saying this isn't right, you should be pushing them harder. And trying to figure out where the truth actually is difficult because everybody who's giving you information has some kind of an angle. So let's talk about what this looks like from the consumer standpoint. What kinds of insights specifically are you able to give to homeowners? And then what can they go and do with that information?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a tool called My Home Tracker, and this is embedded right within your banking app. So with My Home Tracker, what you're able to do is easily embed, the technology, the data, and the insights that homeowners need directly within online and mobile banking. So the first thing that we allow folks to do is track their home value. It's exactly what it sounds like. we built a proprietary home value estimate. We call it the Chimney estimate. That's the first home value estimate purpose-built for banks and credit unions. So it allows homeowners to sign up. They can enter their address and track their home value. And what we're doing from that is then using that data to also allow those folks to check in on their home equity, their available equity. And so what's really unique about the available equity function of My Home Tracker is that we're using real-time property data and the specific lending criteria of that institution to show the homeowner an available equity number. So what we're doing here is showing information and data that's missing from credit reports, that's missing from the data the financial institution has. And because we're able to say, hey, this is the value of the property, and this is what you would typically lend to an account holder like this, we can give someone a really, really good and accurate estimate of how much equity they have to borrow. So the homeowners now get the home value, they get the available equity, and all of that is to drive engagement. And then we want to turn that engagement into action. So we deliver personalized offers for homeowners so they get unique offers and they can unlock savings opportunities right within their banking app. And the really nice part for homeowners is that it sits within the banking app. And then we also send every month what we call our monthly home report. So now into your inbox every month as a homeowner, you're going to get all of this information, your home value, your available equity, your personalized offers, and you can get the confidence in knowing you're never going to miss a savings opportunity, because if rates drop to a certain point, we'll alert you that you might be eligible for something like a refi in the future.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of really cool functionality in there. How much focus do you put on education? Because I think a lot of the pieces that you're talking about here are things which folks in the financial industry would probably have heard of. You know, you would think about when's a smart time to refinance or what you can do with equity. But for a lot of consumers, they aren't really thinking about things at this level. They might not have actually even been exposed to some of these concepts. How do you guys handle that from the Chimney standpoint and making sure consumers know what to do with the information that you're able to give them?
Yeah, so education is the first piece of it, right? It's really giving access to the data so you can make observations and understand what it means to you. It's pretty wild that, you know, as the biggest financial asset, most homeowners still don't really understand a lot of the data, to your point. They might understand that up and to the right is good and home values continue to increase, but what does that mean? And right now we're at a really unique point in homeownership, because you have a lot of folks over the last 10 years or beyond now that have purchased homes and they've seen that home value rise. They've seen their equity balloon, but they don't necessarily have the cash to go do a renovation or add something to the backyard or make a big purchase. So you have all these folks that are equity rich and sitting on a big asset. They don't want to sell their home to get cash because are at the top of the market.
You gotta live there.
And you got to live there. And so how do they get cash out of their homes? How do they leverage their situation and their unique, asset that they've had and accrued equity in? And how do they put that money to work? So it's about, providing a responsible platform for folks to go and do the research and understand specifically what these types of offers or these types of savings opportunities mean for them based on the value and the equity they built.
Yeah, no, I think this is it's easy to see how it resonates with consumers, obviously, but I think we should switch gears here because those consumers aren't the folks who are actually in the Finovate audience who voted for you as Best of Show. So let's talk about the bank side of the equation as well. What is it about the platform? We've already kind of talked about it a little bit. There's new opportunities for a bank to potentially get new customers or to get new products in front of existing customers, I should say. But where do you think, kind of that really sweet spot is for the financial institutions that pulls them in and makes this such an attractive opportunity for them?
So, we've taken something that previously has been maybe a nice to have or maybe something that they think occasionally about and put it front and center as a must have. There's a huge gap, not only just a data gap, but also an insights gap in the amount of homeowners that sit within a customer or a member base. I talk to chief lending officers and I say, how many of your account holders own a home? And they said, let me get back to you. And they said, what do you mean? Do they own a home with us or do they have a mortgage with Wells Fargo? I said, you tell me. And they have so few and little insights into the home ownership base within their existing account holder base that just the first step is identification uncovering those opportunities, getting portfolio intelligence, understanding the competitive intel. So who has a mortgage with other folks? Understanding the equity intel. So who has home equity that they've built up that they're not taking advantage of? So really, that first step is just the education to the financial institution to use AI to analyze property data to uncover lending opportunities and gain a competitive edge. Then we, take that intelligence layer and put it to work by engaging the account holders. And this is about elevating your digital banking experience. It's building stronger relationships. It's using proven technology that keeps account holders coming back consistently to your investment in digital. So, first, it's about identification and uncovering opportunities. Second, it's about engaging account holders and elevating your digital experience. And then it's about delivering offers and speeding up the approval process. So really generating revenue. And we do that by, identifying the homeowners that are ready to take action, sending the right offers at the right time. And then once someone submits an application, using property data that we've modernized and scrubbed and cleaned for you to do things like verify a property. And you can do that quickly and accurately through a single API.
Yeah, no, I think this is the piece that you were able to say really well from stage. And obviously a lot of the folks in the audience responded very positively to that. But I think one of the other pieces, you and I were talking about before we actually push record here is the idea that as soon as you kind of create a customer who becomes the customer who could be very valuable for you, you get them a mortgage, they buy a house. That's the point that a lot of financial institutions typically sort of say, okay, we're done, mortgage accomplished. Where the process is complete. And I think on the consumer side as well, for a lot of people, the idea of homeownership is really important. That this is a path to long-term wealth. But once you buy the house, you're kind of like, okay, job done. Now I just have to make this payment for another 30 years and the rest of the process will kind of naturally happen, which to some extent is true, right? I mean, if you're able to obviously build that equity, that's a good thing. But I think the really cool piece to me is that this doesn't have to be kind of the end of the story. This is actually, in fact, a massive missed opportunity on both sides. Can you talk a little bit about some of the kind of the increases that you've seen from some of your customers already? Products that they've been able to sell, or from homeowners who've been able to do cool things because they had money available that they didn't know they had available. Any specifics you can share there?
Yeah, absolutely. So homeowners that enrolled in Chimney are about 4 times more likely to take out their next home loan with that financial institution.
Wow.
But I think you alluded to something really important there, which I definitely want to touch on, which is financial institutions spend all this money getting first-time home buyers, getting first-time mortgages. They're paying out loan officers, and with good reason, right? These are profitable products. But servicing these loans are not profitable. So, or there's, they can be a challenge, right? It's a high resource intensive business to service a lot of these loans. So they sell off the portfolio, they sell off the mortgages, which is frustrating to the homeowner, and it's frustrating to the folks that are missing out on that revenue. The challenge with selling off your portfolio mortgages, you also sell off a relationship with your most valuable account holders, right? Homeowners have about 40 times higher net worth than renters. I mean, these folks are people that should be some of your best account holders, some of your, highest value account holders. But if you sell off the relationship with them, you don't get the chance to upsell them. You don't get the chance to build a stronger relationship with them. And, the average loan officer at one of our clients, we just were having a conversation, has to support about 10,000 different homeowners, right? So how is one person going to do that and understand what the home value, what the property data looks like, what the equity across 10,000 people are? The answer is they're not, and they don't. So what we're doing is giving you the opportunity as a financial institution to build incredibly strong relationships with homeowners that you can convert into revenue opportunities, whether you service the mortgage or not, whether a homeowner has their loan with Wells Fargo or not. You can take advantage of delivering value, elevating that digital experience, and then creating revenue opportunities from that.
Yeah. I think again, this is functionality that I want. I think it'd be cool for me to be able to do some of this, because I'm one of those people who got a mortgage through a broker. The mortgage was promptly sold off, and I've never actually interacted in any kind of a personal way with the company that now holds my mortgage. I don't know them. They don't know me. I get a statement every month and then a larger statement every 12 months. And that's really the extent of our relationship. As long as the money is deposited on time, they don't care, right? And why would they? And so I think, again, it just speaks to, I think there's so many people who have similar stories out there. I am conscious that we are coming up on the end of our time here. And before we pop off, I just wanted to kind of look towards the future and say, what are your ambitions for Chimney going forward? Obviously, take a moment to relish the Best of Show win at FinovateFall. Hopefully you can have some well-deserved time, and kudos for the team there. But what's the next step? Well, how do you see Chimney evolving over the course of the next 5 or even 10 years?
Yeah, absolutely. And so thanks. We will relish in the trophy in the Best of Show at Finovate. For us, we think a lot about the macro environment and where things are going. We also think there's a big opportunity to think about what's not going to change, right? So everyone likes to get caught up in technology advancements and what's happening in the economy on a macro scale. But for us, we also like to think about, okay, the old Amazon adage, which is people are still going to want convenience. They're still going to want to understand that there's savings opportunities and lending opportunities, and they're not missing out on those. They're still going to want the ability to do things in one place. So from a product perspective, we want to give homeowners and account holders the ability to get all that they need right within their banking app instead of going to all of these disconnected systems. And what we've done is built a solution that is essentially rates agnostic. So when we talk to a lot of the chief lending officers and the head of the financial institutions, they want to know that our product is going to be serviceable when rates are high, when rates are low, and everything in between. And so what we're doing is building specific products that align to rates like when rates drop, for example, at some point, maybe in the next 18 months, there'll be a boom of refis. So who's going to be eligible for those refi products? Well, homeowners, is going to be first and foremost putting that money to work. When rates inevitably, rise or whatever the Fed decides to do, we've got a suite of products now that we can deliver through the, homeowner tools and dashboards and home tracker that we've built. So now whatever the rates do, whatever product that financial institutions are trying to deliver to homeowners, they no longer have to balloon and hire 10 loan officers for seasonal, demand. They can create those relationships at scale, leveraging the power of technology and data that we help them provide.
Yeah, well, and certainly it's been you could say turbulent couple of years lately. And I think, but this is one of the realities of the real estate market is it's always a little bit turbulent, right? There's always going to be fluctuations. And so future proofing to that sense makes a ton of sense to me. For my part, I look forward to seeing how you all progress. Again, I would encourage anybody listening to this or watching this to check out the video at finovate.com/videos. Again, I've been talking to Chase Neinken, co-founder at Chimney. Chase, thanks again for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Greg, for having us. We'll see you soon.
The Finovate podcast is produced by Informa Connect in association with Provoke.fm Media. Check out Finovate.com for information on Finovate's upcoming shows and to learn how you can get involved. The discount code Finovate Podcast will save you 20% on tickets to all of our events. And you can email us at info@finovate.com for information on sponsoring, speaking, or demoing. Thanks for listening.